This is my review of Earth and life, and this video is #gifted because this life was gifted to me by God or creation or whatever. It's also sponsored because my life was sponsored by my parents for a big portion of it. Yeah, but I thought let's just make a video about this because I've been trying out this life thing for almost 28 years now, and I think quite a lot about what it's like to be alive and what Earth is like, so might as well make a video about it. So the first point that I want to discuss is that the instructions are kind of unclear. You get here, you become alive, and first of all, you listen to the instructions that your caregivers give you, but at a certain point, you start questioning like what actually is the mission and actually is the point of my life. And you know, the beauty of it is that you will never find out. At least maybe these things have to get revealed through you, like intrinsically. And there are some people that say that there's like this mission in your soul that you are supposed to find out. And while I love that concept and it's very poetic, there's no actual proof of a soul or anything like that. So like it's just a word that people use. And it is quite fascinating how there is no like big clear mission to anyone's life. So everybody can just make up their own goals and missions, and you know, that is the beauty of it. It's also really annoying sometimes because if you don't have a mission and if you don't know what you are here for, then you're kind of just annoyed and stuck. Anyway, the second point is that there's no real score to all of it. Like there's no mission, there's also like no real scores that you can use to see if you're doing well. I mean, there's people that value different scores. Some people highly value money and they think like money is the ultimate measurement of value, so that is the score of life, how we would keep track of scores. And there's people that rather have validation or rather have respect, or some people that only care about this thing called love, which is like a whole concept of its own, probably deserves its own point. But there's no real like metric or score, and everybody has different metrics or scores, and some of them are flawed. Like pretty much all of them have its flaws and its good things to them. If I would have to pick my favorite one, it's probably money, but like I don't have any money, so like I don't know why I even picked that. But I feel like one person that I watch online said that the true measurement of intelligence or how smart you are is if you can get out of life what you want to get out of life. And I think that might be the ultimate mission, to just get out of life what you want to get out of it. And I might add, without like harming too many people, without harming anyone else during the process. But I think that's a good mission to have, is to just get out of life what you want to get out of life. But then that's different for everybody else, for everybody. So you must know what you want to get out of life first, so that brings you to the first point. But then sometimes people get everything they want out of life, and it turns out that that's still making them unhappy, and then it's kind of like a curse, right? Then it's just maybe you were given everything just because you needed to be punished, and that can also happen. So it's all quite annoying, but also beautiful. Then the third point is humans. Now this is like the worst part of life, but also one of the best. The best thing might be animals, honestly. But yeah, the humans are like, they are so flawed, like they make so many mistakes, and that is so annoying, but it's also so cool because it's like, it keeps it interesting. Everybody screws up. It's like the thing about being human is that you keep making mistakes, and that's the beauty of it. Because like honestly lately I've been talking to other forms of intelligence that are not human, and it is very annoying when something like gives you the right answer all of the time. And with a human being, at least they screw up and they make mistakes, and they have this thing called emotions where they do stuff that they don't mean to do sometimes, and it just shows that they are human. And I really like that because it keeps things interesting. You never really know what's gonna happen because it's other human beings and they keep making mistakes. So that's a very cool part about humans. Also, they come in like all shapes and all sorts. Some of them are not very smart, and I keep forgetting that there's like people that are actually not very smart. But then you don't really know for sure, because there's people that are actually very smart that seem not smart, and then there's people that are not very smart who try to seem very smart. So you never really truly know, and that's the beauty of it. Like every human being is like its own universe in its own. Like everybody has their own experience, and you can like try to explore somebody else's entire being, which brings us to the point of love, because I feel that is a lot of times what love is. And just like the score thing, there's no real score. Some people just find it very enjoyable to be in love and try to discover everything about another person, and that is a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. But if we have to talk in the famous words of Mr. Clavicular, he said, what's the ROI of love? And honestly, if you spend your whole life just feeling good in your brain because you're in love, then what are you doing with your life? Like, there needs to be like another thing as well, apart from just feeling good in your brain because you're in love and you're trying to discover another person. And this brings us to the next thing about life, is the design. I think the design is freaking incredible. The fact that nature exists is beautiful. Like, nature is so well designed. Human beings are so well designed. Like, the fact that our brains are like connected and wired to be in love with other people, like that is a design thing that's so freaking brilliant. The fact that the body kind of just knows how to make a baby if it's like inseminated is freaking crazy. And animals are the best part, honestly. And the fact that you can like sometimes feel like you're connecting with an animal, and you can just like understand an animal, even though there's no proof or reason for that. And that might be my favorite thing, is that sometimes the design, we're not supposed to understand how it works. And that is a beautiful thing, because we can dissect everything. We can look at a flying bird and we can be like, oh my god, I want to know how that bird flies. And then we kill that bird and we cut open its wings and we try to like research how it is that it flies, but then we have a dead bird and it just sucks. And I feel like that's a flaw of human beings, is that we try to understand and control and know everything, but sometimes that just ruins things. Like, just leave things over to some mystery and just appreciate the beauty of things instead of trying to understand everything. I think might be more helpful. But like, I don't know these things. I'm just like saying something from my personal experience and my review of things. Also, I don't have a better score system, or I don't know any alternative to this life and this earth. So take everything with a grain of salt, I guess, because it's not like I can give you an alternative. Then, the next thing about life is art. Art makes it incredible. It's like a human thing where humans just do things sometimes just to express what it's like to be a human being, and these things do not make much sense. They're not logical. They're not things that we have to do, but some people like feel like they have to create things that are new and create value and create just ideas of things that didn't exist before. And even though this might be like the least logical or the least required thing to do, because it's like, not, you don't need to do these things to survive, but people feel like they need to do these things, and it's actually what adds the most value to life. What makes life worth living is that people express what it's like to be human. And it comes down to that point that humans are incredibly flawed and complex and weird, and to just put that into something that people can relate to, I find that incredibly beautiful, and that makes life worth living. Now, I already talked a bit about animals, but animals are great. They bring out my overall review of Earth like up 2 points probably, especially the cute ones. Like, there's some animals that I don't know why they exist and they're not cool, but some of them are incredible. So overall, I would give this experience of Earth and life about a solid 7, maybe a 7.5. Why not higher is because, you know, this thing where you don't really understand the score and everybody has their own score, and it's not even a real leaderboard, or there's nothing there. And the fact that humans are so complex and there's no instruction to it, and sometimes these human beings, they pretend like there is an instruction that they have so they can earn points on their scoreboard or on their leaderboard, and you know, that sucks. That stuff sucks. I hate it when human beings do that, when they try to convince other people that they know the instruction to life, but it's actually just because they want to earn some points for themselves. And that brings it down, honestly. That's like, I feel like that's one of the most annoying things. But I would recommend it. I would recommend this experience if I could, because I am not sure if there's anybody I could recommend it to, because I feel like I cannot recommend the experience of living on Earth to somebody who's not on Earth, because I'm not sure if I can communicate with people like that, or if those people actually exist for that matter, or if they're actually people, or, you know, I'm not sure about that. I cannot fully exclude it, but I'm not sure. So yes, I would recommend if I could, if I can.